We live in a complex world. A world in which we're required to make many choices, but the most important choices we'll ever make are decisions regarding our health. Across the country, millions of women and men face an epidemic of obesity, depression, and other health-related issues. Holistic health professional Tracy LeBeau knows firsthand about the difficult challenges we face every day. Years ago, Tracy was overweight, sick, and determined to turn her life around. Over time, Tracy learned how to wisely manage her food choices and embrace a lifestyle that is conducive to happiness and well-being. Tracy's successful transformation inspired her to found In Pure Harmony, a company dedicated to the advancement of better health through natural and holistic methods.
Hi, I'm Tracy LeBeau, and I help women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s to lose weight naturally and permanently so that they can improve their mood, increase their energy, and be healthy. If you are the type of person who constantly has inner conflict about choices you make, not being able to lose weight, the way you look, body image, I'm here to tell you to stop. Americans today spend $2.5 trillion a year. $2.5 trillion a year. I need to say that twice because that's how much we spend every single year on healthcare. Interestingly enough, we, as an American society, are sicker than almost every modern country in the world. How can that be? We spend so much money on healthcare and yet we're sick. American women today are on medications for cholesterol, heart disease, diabetes, thyroid, you name it. Interestingly enough, that's not usually the reason women go on diets. Women do not usually go on diet to improve their health, get off medications, and live a higher quality of life. Most women go on diets because of body image, because they want to look better in their bathing suit or in the little black dress. And that's a good reason as well. However, the diet industry in 2009 generated $60.4 billion in revenue, and in 2010 generated $60.9 billion in revenue. We as an American country spent almost $61 billion 2 years in a row, for the last 2 years in a row, trying to lose weight and look better. However, why do we continue to spend that same money over and over and over again? It's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, and I think most of us are looking for the quick fix and the quick solution, and every new diet that comes out promises us to get closer to that. Nothing's a guarantee. However, diets should not be depriving, depressing, hard, or something that we consider torture and something we have to do but dread it. Diet should be the way you eat every day. A little bit about my story. Roughly 8 years ago, I was on medication for 6 different conditions, ranging from migraines to asthma to irritable bowel syndrome to allergies and more. My cholesterol was starting to go over 200 and I was 30 pounds overweight. I was unhappy with everything in general. I was unhappy with my job. I was unhappy with my home. I was unhappy with my marriage. I was unhappy all the time. I was a busy person. as most women in this age range are, in their 30s, 40s, and even in their 50s. I was working full-time, I was going to school full-time, and I had two very active boys in middle school and high school playing hockey, running track, doing all kinds of extracurricular activities, working jobs. Life was very hectic. And I didn't think I had time to take care of myself. I didn't even think about caring for myself. That wasn't my priority. As unhappy and as much anxiety as I was experiencing, I did not put myself first. That wasn't my priority. In that thought, what started me looking into holistic approaches to health was not about me. It was about a family member who had ADHD, and I was looking into ways to avoid medication and incorporate more natural approaches to reverse or eliminate the symptoms of ADHD. I had in my mind that there was something that wasn't right that could be fixed rather than medicating, and somehow that person would never learn how to adjust and how to take care of themselves and how to deal with things if they were just relying on a pill to fix their problems. The more I researched holistic approaches to health and the more I read, the more I started to make that connection to say, how can I help myself in the same way? How can I look at food, look at nutrition, look at self-care for healing myself? Because I certainly wasn't going in a forward direction with all those medications I was on. I was going backwards. I was going to get more and more and more medications based on the history of my family, the history I had with depression and anxiety and all of the other things I talked about. I didn't see it getting better unless I learned how to take control and fix things myself. And I knew by what I was reading and what I was learning, it wasn't going to be discipline, depriving myself, forcing myself. That wasn't going to work. Looking at lifestyle and health from a holistic approach means looking at everything in your life and seeing how does it affect me on a day-to-day basis. How does the food I consume help me or hurt me? Because it all does one or the other. Your body either knows what to do with something that you've just eaten or it doesn't. And if it's a whole plant-based food, natural food, as close to its whole form as possible, your body knows exactly what to do. It knows exactly what nutrient to take and where to send it and what it's supposed to do for you. When you're eating processed foods, when you're eating a lot of fried foods, when you're eating a lot of foods that aren't good for you or that are developed and generated in a laboratory or somewhere else, your body has no idea what it is or where it came from, and it sends out all kinds of warnings. It could cause inflammation. It causes overweight. It leads to all kinds of conditions that we want to avoid that could decrease the quality of our life as we get older. So I'm here to tell you that being a busy mom at the time in her 30s, now going into my 40s, that you can live the life you want, you can have the body that you feel good in, you can learn to be happy for everything in your life. I went from being miserable with everything and taking everything that I had for granted to being grateful every single day for everything that I have. It was like I went from one room to another room and saw this light coming right over my life and saying, where's that light been all these years? Because I never saw the world like that before. And what happened was when I saw that and I felt that from way down inside here, I thought, oh my God, what have I been missing? Why didn't I know this when I was 20, 25, and 30? And then I stopped and said, Tracy, who cares? You know it now, and you need to tell other people that it exists. You need to tell other people that there is another side to the diet industry, to the health industry, to external factors being able to control your health and your happiness and your quality of life, to you being in control and actually feeling good about it. It's not about deprivation, and it's not about being hard. It's about feeling good about your choices and wanting to make those choices over and over again. The only reason we have bad habits in the way we eat and the way we take care of ourselves is because we've built those habits over the 30, 40, or 50 years that it took us to get here. And the only way we're going to change that and change our lifestyle is to start forming habits that make us feel good and make us want to continue making those choices over and over again. I'm here to tell you that it can be done naturally and it can be done permanently, and all it takes is for you to open up, listen to your body, and pay attention to what works and what doesn't work. Because it's very easy once you start to be aware and in tune with how your body reacts. How does your mind react? How does your body react? When you eat something, when you make a decision, when you put yourself in a certain situation. It's not all about food, and it's not all about your mind. It's a combination of everything. It's getting that balance. And a lot of you might say to me, I don't have time to think about that. I don't have the energy to think about that. Those are the perfect reasons to do it. In my program, I work with people one-on-one for a minimum period of 6 months. That's what it really takes to get a jump start on changing the way you live your life versus the quick fix. Yes, many diets can help you lose those 20 pounds in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks. But given the revenue that is generated every year from the diet industry, we're going to spend it again next year. And every spring when we want to get in our bathing suit, we're going to spend that money and lose that weight again. And that's not going to help us reduce our incidence of diabetes, reduce our incidence of heart disease, reduce any other chronic illness. That's not going to help us. It's the long-term permanent care that we give to ourselves, the loving gratitude that we pay attention to our body, is what's going to help us continue our quality of life and experience vitality like you have not felt in a long time. That's the goal. That's what happened to me. At one point, over the course of 6, 7 years or so, versus 8 years ago, being on 6 medications and being depressed, anxious, and unhappy, I eliminated every single one of my medications. I felt good, and I wake up every morning feeling happy and grateful for what's in my life, and thanking God every single day for finding what I found inside of me. Not in a box, not in a program, not in a storefront, inside of me. And when I started to find that, I felt very, very strongly that I needed to help other women who were looking for the same thing. I could not possibly have been the only mother in her 30s running around like crazy, ignoring my body, ignoring my emotions, ignoring my feelings of being having terrible body image and looking terrible and worrying about what everyone thinks about what I say, what I do, what I eat. How do I look? How do I react? What kind of response did I give to someone? It took me realizing that none of that matters. What I have inside is what matters. How I feel about the choices I make. And in some aspects, even the diet part, consuming the better foods, was a hard thing to deal with, and still continues to be at times, because it's not the norm. And sometimes you're kind of looked at as different just because you're eating better, because it's still different. It's not the standard American diet. The SAD diet is what it's called. It's a challenge. But the difference between that challenge and depriving yourself of something is that this challenge makes you feel good, and one challenge does not. My program is based on individuality. Bioindividuality is what it's called. And I learned that in the school that I went to get certified. I wanted to get formally educated. I wanted to build up my credentials, and I wanted to bring this information to other women who were going through what I went through and wanted to really change the way they look at their life and the way they pay attention and prioritize their health and their happiness. Because you need to have both. They both affect each other and they both rely on each other. Happiness and health should be one. I work with each person individually. I do it here in my office. I also do it via the telephone or via Skype. I offer group workshops as well, if there's enough people and we can coordinate that. I also do group programs over the telephone. And I just really work with people on a one-on-one basis, continuously coaching them and helping them to listen to their bodies, pay attention to what works, learn about what food does, learn about the different types of foods, different benefits to food. Can one food help my mood? Can one food help my energy? The answer is absolutely yes. And it doesn't take much to say, I'm going to try it. And then you realize that it works, and you think, that was easy. And it's not about taking away or depriving yourself. It's about feeling good and paying and giving yourself number one attention for once in your life. You can visit my website if you want to learn more about my program, or if you'd like to contact me. It is www.inpureharmony.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. I do free consultations, or you can just contact me via email if you have any questions or have any interest that you'd like me to address. Thank you.